Welcome to the self-improvement movement. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us for this explainer, because today we're tackling what is arguably the single most important force behind personal growth, leadership, and just true transformation. We're talking about confidence. But look, we aren't just going to look at it as some fuzzy, abstract idea. No way. We're going to completely dismantle the pervasive myth that confidence is a trait you're just simply born with, like some genetic lottery that some people win and others lose. As you'll see through the teachings of history's absolute best self-development leaders, we'll break down exactly how this crucial trait is built from the ground up.
So, let's tackle a massive question right off the bat. Are you born with confidence? People constantly, and I mean constantly, make the mistake of thinking confidence is totally innate. They look at someone walking into a room, commanding all the attention, taking these bold risks, and they think, wow, they just naturally have it. Must be nice. But the actual truth, backed by literally decades of self-improvement philosophy, is that confidence is developed. It's a highly trainable skill. It's built systematically through your daily thoughts, your consistent actions, and your unwavering discipline.
Now, take a really close look at this definition of true confidence. Notice what's missing? It doesn't say confidence is absolute certainty, and it definitely doesn't say confidence is arrogance. True confidence is simply this: I may not know exactly how this will work out, but I trust myself enough to try. That's it. It's just this fundamental trust in yourself to take action, even when you're staring down total uncertainty. It's a mindset that literally changes everything, completely separating the folks who stay stuck from those who go out and achieve extraordinary things.
All right, let's dive into our first major section. Pillar 1, mastering your internal dialogue. To really get a grip on this internal dialogue, we have to look to Napoleon Hill. You probably know him from his legendary book, Think and Grow Rich. Well, he taught that confidence doesn't actually start out in the physical world. It begins entirely in the mind. You've almost certainly heard his famous quote, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Hill introduced this brilliant concept of auto-suggestion. Basically, this is the practice of repeatedly feeding your own mind with incredibly empowering thoughts and super definite goals. He argued that if you just repeatedly plant beliefs of capability in your head, those beliefs actually start to dictate your actions. By constantly feeding your mind with a clear, definite purpose, you're laying down the solid foundation of self-belief you need to finally take action.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how that internal mechanism works. It connects perfectly to Earl Nightingale's famous idea that the human mind is essentially like fertile soil. Nightingale taught that whatever thoughts you plant over and over again will absolutely shape your behavior. If you focus on destructive thoughts, picture a withered, dying plant. Thoughts like, oh, I always fail, or I'm just not good enough. You are literally conditioning your mind for defeat. But on the flip side, if you deliberately plant constructive thoughts of growth, learning, and possibility, well, your confidence gradually but very surely begins to expand.
So the crucial takeaway here is recognizing what destroys that fertile soil before a seed can even sprout. Both Hill and Nightingale warned heavily, and I mean heavily, against these specific causes of mental defeat. We're talking about things like the fear of criticism, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and having a severe lack of direction. It's wild, but many people never even pursue their ambitions because they mentally defeat themselves before they've taken a single physical step. A lack of clear goals creates all this uncertainty, and uncertainty, well, that just creates hesitation.
Which brings us right to Pillar 2, keeping promises to yourself.
So while Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale focused a ton on the mind, Jim Rohn approached confidence from a super practical roll-up-your-sleeves kind of angle. For Rohn, confidence wasn't just about what you think, it was about what you literally do every single day. He taught that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Rohn makes this incredible point that confidence isn't built by some sudden, fleeting burst of motivation. No, it's built by evidence. It's the undeniable proof you give yourself every single time you follow through on your own word. Think about it. Every time you do what you said you were going to do, your confidence goes up. But every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence takes a hit.
Let's look at what those disciplines actually look like in the real world. Waking up on time, which, let's be honest, is often the absolute hardest battle of the day. Reading daily, exercising consistently, following through even when it's totally uncomfortable. I know, these seem like incredibly small, almost mundane tasks, right? But Jim Rohn taught that practicing these tiny everyday disciplines fundamentally rewires your self-image. When you consistently prove to yourself that you're a disciplined person, your entire identity shifts, your behavior changes, and as a result, your confidence directly and measurably shoots up over time.
Now, let's move on to Pillar 3, the physiology of confidence.
Here's where we bring in the legendary Tony Robbins, who introduces a completely different, purely physical dimension to all this. He focuses heavily on the body, teaching that your physical state immediately influences your mind. Actually, let this concept really sink in for a second. Motion creates emotion. Your posture, the way you breathe, your physical movements, heck, even your facial expressions directly dictate your emotional state. Confidence is not just some mental game you're playing. Your body is constantly sending powerful messages straight back to your brain.
And this contrast is just brilliant. Think about it. When someone feels defeated, what do? Head goes down, breathing gets shallow, movements slow down. They physically collapse in on themselves. Now contrast that with standing up straight, expanding your chest, and taking a really deep breath. Robbins teaches that by deliberately shifting your body into that upright, expansive posture, you can literally instantly interrupt those negative mental loops. Sure, it might feel a little goofy at first, almost like you're forcing a superhero pose, but you are literally using your own physiology to completely kickstart your psychological confidence. And that leads us to a massive, critical shift in our mindset, acting despite the fear. Okay, it is time to bust a seriously toxic myth in the self-improvement space, the idea that truly confident people just simply do not experience fear. That is 100% false. Confident people absolutely still feel nervous. They still feel uncertain, they feel vulnerable, and yeah, they're afraid of failing. The monumental difference isn't that the fear magically goes away. It's the simple fact that they act anyway. Look, so many of us wait around hoping to feel ready before we start something new. But the real secret is that true readiness and that feeling of genuine confidence only ever comes from forward movement.
Because at the end of the day, confidence is earned experience. Confidence grows after you take the action, not before it. Every single time you survive a tough challenge, every time you speak up even when your voice is totally shaking, and every time you fall flat on your face but learn from the mistake, you are earning real-world experience. And that experience, that becomes the hard, concrete proof that you are so much stronger, more resilient, and way more capable than you ever initially gave yourself credit for.
So, how do we actually pull all of this together? Let's look at some daily steps to build confidence. All right, let's quickly walk through this blueprint to apply the philosophies of Hill, Nightingale, Rohn, and Robbins in your actual life. Number 1, keep promises to yourself. Start super small and just build that trust through consistency. Number 2, control your inner dialogue. Actively swap out those destructive thoughts for constructive ones. Number 3, improve your physiology. Stand taller, breathe deeper, own your space. Number 4, develop competence. Study and practice because skill absolutely breeds belief. Number 5, face small fears regularly. Do the hard things so you can earn that experience. Number 6, set clear goals because having a definite purpose stops mental defeat in its tracks. And finally, number 7, choose to surround yourself with growth-oriented people because your environment heavily shapes your identity.
If there's one absolutely crucial point I want you to take away from this entire explainer, it's this. Confidence is really about becoming more fully yourself. It's not some exclusive VIP club reserved for extroverts or a lucky few who happen to win the genetic lottery. Not at all. It is a carefully, intentionally developed skill, built day by day through your thoughts, your discipline, your actions, and your purpose. It's the tool that allows you to strip away all that fear and finally present your truest, most capable self to the world.
So I want to leave you with a very direct challenge today. What is one promise you will keep to yourself today? Don't pick 10 things. Just pick one simple, manageable discipline. Make the promise, keep the promise, and earn that undeniable evidence of your own capability. I want you to take that first disciplined step forward today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep growing, keep learning, and as always, keep moving forward.